Hello guys of United Rock Nations. We have the pleasure to have Satyricon with us at the Hellfest. How are you?
Doing very well, thank you. Yeah, Satyricon is at a good place. We're here at Hellfest playing, and I think it's the fourth time here. I think that the shows have been better and better, the crowds have been better and better, and the festival itself is getting better and better. So my hopes for today are high. Hence, a pretty good feeling about this one.
It's now 1 month, more than 1 month, that Live at the Opera was released. How was the response of the fans?
Response have been so good that I'm getting a little worried, to be frank with you. It's always like that whenever Satyricon is releasing something new. There are voices of criticism and concern. Some people are disappointed and others are skeptical. Others again might like very well what you do, but Satyricon are always developing and changing, sometimes less, sometimes more. And since we dare to challenge our fans, we will always be met with that kind of reactions. And we have gotten used to it, and it's as it should be. It's very alright to have mixed reactions, and very often people tend to need some time to get accustomed to every new album. But that also means that perhaps people grow a little with our music, which is a good thing. But for the Live at the Opera album, I haven't seen one singular bad or mediocre review, so now I'm wondering if it's just I that haven't read other than a select few good reviews, or if it's a sign that this album is being met a little differently. But at the end of the day, it's fortunate that people seem to like the album and that it resonates with them, and we ourselves are proud of that work and find it to be important to have such an album out, which showcases a live rendition of a unique work, showing Satyricon at its most majestic and grand ever. It's a very, very fine release for us, and one that sums up our entire career that far. So when that is met positively by our fans, we should be happy about it, and we are.
And why do you decide to record with a chorus? It's unusual.
I guess that there were two factors that decided which songs to choose. The one was that we had just been releasing our new Satyricon album, so the opera show was the first show on that tour, and we were then picking quite a few songs from that album. And the second factor was that we wanted to pick songs that would benefit from having choral arrangements, and then we were taking into consideration such things that whether the song had very, very epic or dramatic qualities, or if there was a lot of strong emotional content, or if the song was particularly transparent, which would give a lot of room for the opera choir to really shine and do their thing and put their mark on the song. So we tried to find songs of all those categories, and basically I guess we could have picked 5 or 10 hours of songs and it would all have made sense, but at least those were the factors that we considered, and at least we spent quite some time trying to figure out which songs would work the best, and to make a good set list actually for that show.
In fact, there is 6 songs of the album released on 2013. 6. It's much. It's more. Perhaps fans wants to hear all songs on this album.
they hear lots of old songs, and there are two comments I could make about it. The first being that, as I said, the opera show was the first show on the tour with our new album. So of course we play many new songs.
Yes.
We don't release an album to make it possible for us to go out tour with old material. When we release an album, that should showcase what we're about there and then. It should be our best work to date. It's something we're proud of, something that we want to show our audience. We want to show the new album and its content in a live setting. So that's one of the reasons. And the second is that those songs also had that kind of emotional nerve and the dynamics and dramatics which made them fit very, very well with choral arrangements. So even if that album had been an older one, we probably would have ended up picking quite a few of those songs because they turn out to work so well with the choir.
Was it easy to involve the Norwegian National Opera Chorus on that project?
No, I mean, like the bureaucratic and practical side of things, it was a lot of work. But that's, the boring side. We were aware of it going to be like that. But actually to make the choir function well with the band was no problem at all. We had already performed one song with the choir at an event in 2012, so we pretty much knew that the cooperation would be a success. And the composer of the choral arrangements knew perfectly well how to make choral arrangements with Satyricon. He understood the nerve of the music, tempos and feelings, atmospheres, vibes, everything. How, what this project was really about was something that he understood perfectly well, and he realized what kind of potential there was in the cooperation, which was of course fundamental to this project. And then the choir master that was to conduct the choir and make it become unison with the band also had that same understanding of what we wanted to achieve. He had no problems relating to tempo changes or dynamics or the moods that we create with our music, and hence he could easily make the choir work with the band so that we actually sounded like a proper unit rather than two different sets of musicians that try to make something work together without really knowing how to do it. So it was a very seamless operation, and it came down to musical understandings and professional skills, and it was a fantastic demonstration of what potential there lies in such a musical project as this one.
It's now 2 years that you released a studio album. Have you got some plans to release a new album, a studio album?
Yeah, we definitely have plans. We are working 4 to 5 days every week, jamming new material. So we're going to make one cover album actually, which is also a very new project for us, something we haven't done before. And we're making a new studio album. These processes are happening simultaneously, so I guess it's safe to say that we have never been busier, creatively speaking. And that's something that we like, because being creative is at the very heart of why Satyricon exists.
Do you plan to release that album, the new album, this year, next year?
Probably both of the albums are going to be released in 2016. Yeah, that's actually very likely to happen.
It will be different from the last studio album?
Those that know Satyricon will know that that's going to be the case. We never released two very similar albums, and probably it's going to be really different from anything we've done. But as our fans will also know already, it's going to have the Satyricon signature, no doubt.
Can you give some information about the new album? More blacker, more heavier? What's the new orientation of the new album?
The material that we're working on these days is so diverse that it's very hard to talk about the direction. Most of all, I feel that it sounds very creative and dynamic. It sounds inspired what we do, and it is. We are in an inspired mood, which is very grateful for a musician. So then we are also quite productive, but as of now we haven't one single song that is finished, but we have lots of pieces that, you know, consists of several parts, and where you could sense a particular expression or direction, and it's everything from very grim, severe, dark and brutal material to very groovy and hard rock oriented material to low-key, ambient, atmospheric music. Who knows what it's going to end up like? I don't have a clue myself. I just hear at all of these pieces that we're working on, they sound very good already, and it sounds exciting and creative, and it sounds Satyricon, even if it's extremely diverse, and I like it, and I hope that it's gonna work well with our fans also, that they're gonna enjoy the spirited musicality that I know will be present on that album.
Thank you for this interview. Hope to see you after in concerts. Yeah, I will be there to take some photos. Okay, thank you.
This is Frost of Satyricon speaking on United Rock Nations.